Chaotic situation currently unfolding involving the band Cradle of Filth, where earlier this week, the group's longtime keyboardist Zoe Fedorov announced abruptly that she would be quitting the band and stepping away mid-tour due to personal reasons. Now, complicating the situation is the fact that her husband is the band's guitarist, Ashok, and a couple of days later, they both released a joint statement with Ashok still in the band as guitarist, making some very shocking allegations against the band. And now we have Dani Filth responding to all of this, labeling these claims defamatory, but it's definitely a situation that has spiraled with this metal band, and this is everything we know currently about what's happening with this Cradle of Filth feud. It's a developing story surrounding the band Cradle of Filth, which has seen a lineup change spiral into a very public and messy controversy. Frontman Dani Filth has announced the band has fired guitarist Ashok Shmurda effective immediately, right in the middle of their tour. This move comes hours after Shmurda and his wife, former keyboardist Zoe Fedorov, released a lengthy statement, leveling serious accusations against the band's management and leadership. To understand how this escalated so quickly, we have to rewind just a few days. The story begins with Zoe Fedorov announcing she was leaving the band in the middle of the tour. Her initial statement was brief, professional, and cited personal reasons. She posted, "It is with deep regret I share that for personal reasons, I am unable to continue this tour, continue in general with Cradle of Filth." At that point, Dani Filth's response suggested an amicable, if sudden, split. He released a statement wishing her well and announcing her replacement for the tour. Everything seemed standard, but the situation took a sharp turn because Zoe is married to the band's guitarist, Ashok. A day after his wife's announcement, Ashok released his own statement. He confirmed that he also was planning to leave Cradle of Filth, but that he intended to finish the current tour first. His message, however, was far from diplomatic and began to reveal serious issues behind the scenes. Ashok wrote, "We simply do not feel like Cradle can provide for our future, and in fact, hinders it. Among other reasons, it is a lot of work for relatively low pay. The stress is quite high, and we haven't felt for a while like this band is actually prioritizing and caring about members. It has been years of unprofessional behavior from people above us that led to our decision." He also requested that all of his musical compositions be removed from future releases, including the anticipated collab with Ed Sheeran. So now, the narrative has shifted from a simple departure to one involving accusations of low pay, high stress, and unprofessional conduct. Still, Ashok stated his plan was to finish the tour for the fans and his bandmates. That plan was short-lived. Shortly after his post, Ashok and Zoe released a lengthy joint statement that blew the situation wide open, leveling incredibly serious allegations at the band's management, while also holding Dani Filth responsible. Their joint statement reads, in part, "Management is dishonest, manipulative, and tries to take money that belongs to us. When I called them out on this attempted theft, they called me cancer and dead horse and threatened to fire me. The frontman does nothing to stop them and hides behind them while they belittle and steal. We hold the frontman responsible for hiring this management and never advocating for his team, only himself." The statement goes on, "The atmosphere he creates is threatening and abusive and constantly exploits us for very low wages, yet also demands exclusivity to Cradle's schedule. We do not make even the bare cost of living, yet we're told not to tour with other bands to supplement income." They also attached a copy of the contract they were given, claiming their lawyer called it the most psychopathic contract a session musician could ever be handed. The statement also contained a tragic personal detail, alleging, "The health toll it took on us also led me to miscarry our first pregnancy on tour." They concluded with a direct challenge. "We all know the guy who says all his exes are crazy. Are you sure all of them? Or could the problem be you 40 plus people later?" It was this joint statement with the detailed accusations of financial misconduct, verbal abuse, and exploitative environment that led to the final escalation. After these allegations went public, Dani Filth and the band reversed their position on letting Ashok finish the tour. He was fired. In a new statement, Dani Filth announced the guitarist's immediate termination. He wrote, "It is with a grave heart that Cradle of Filth officially announced the firing of Ashok Shmurda from the band effective immediately." He called the couple's actions attempts to illegally defame and derail the band, and directly addressed their claims, stating, "Accusations towards management, who work very closely with me in the band, are completely unjust and unfounded." Filth also added that the band was in a state of shock, but promised their side of the story would come out in due course. So a keyboardist quits, her husband announces his own departure with grievances. They both release a statement with severe allegations, and in response, the guitarist is fired mid-tour. The band has vowed to continue its South American tour with a replacement guitarist to be flown in, and they're promising to share their side of this story very soon. This has become an incredibly public and serious conflict, and for now, we only have one side of the story in full detail. So look, this is obviously a very contentious split here, and anytime there's a membership change, it's difficult, but when you have them releasing a joint statement like this, making the claims that they're making, it makes it all the more complicated, and you have Dani Filth firing back as well, accusing them of making defamatory statements. He is strongly denying what they're saying as well. It seems like this situation is far from over. We'll let you know as we learn more. As always, that's your latest update here from Rockfeed. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on for the latest news and updates.